feel like it has the second best everything. Like they kind of have deserts, they kind of have mountains, they kind of have. Here you're like, oh, there's like a legit.
This man is Coriolanus here, not literally Coriolanus.
I don't know.
I know you're pretty
not
close.
from the pretty, yeah.
He's so abrasive. They end up banishing him.
It's like Rambo. It's like he comes back, or like he's
That is actually
Just
not
like
far off the
Rambo.
story.
Just like Rambo.
Yeah.
Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About YouABQ.
That's right, it is all about YouABQ. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, culture, and lifestyle so that you walk away with some value and feeling inspired. Now, the way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests you want to see. So we invite you to join us on our social media tag up here or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
You probably recognize Grant as a well-rested gentleman and the head coach of the University of New Mexico men's Lobo hockey team. Now he's absolutely crushing it in the mortgage space.
You've seen Skip on HGTV's House Hunters. He's part of the top 2% producing real estate agents in the city and world.
Worldwide.
Why?
Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined by Quinn and Crash of New Mexico Shakespeare Festival, bringing some culture to Albuquerque and the surrounding areas from the big cities like New York. Dude, we're about to learn some things today.
I like crashes.
Yeah, well, stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. And then obviously stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. Grant, you look well rested. I was not giving you a hard time. Dude, it's nice to see you on point, on time, and ready to rock.
I had to attribute my sponsor, Ambien, brought to you by, but yeah, I got some rest. I felt sharp, and we had some weekend stories to trade. What'd you do?
Oh, dude, well, I've been staying busy, but it sounds like you went and supported some of our past guests at the Bulldog Festival.
Yeah, Xavier and Quinton, both with last names that are wrestling jingles. Let's post those pictures. What they did is they had a conglomerate of a dog show. They had a lowrider. They had face painting, and they had chinchillas and. Gosh, I can't.
And they took over the state fairgrounds.
Yeah, and they sold plenty of seats, and it was their third one, and I gave them massive kudos because I know what it's like to put on an event, and people showed up, and there were so many cute bulldogs and variations of them all. If Mark's done overdosing backstage, we'll put the pictures up of the bulldogs.
I only got the Nova pictures.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well,
once again, Grant, Ambien Grant forgot to send the email in, but we'll move forward.
It's actually probably normal Grant. We'll allude to that later, but maybe we'll put the pictures up later. But anyways, impressive event. They had a pedigreed dog show judges there, and it was awesome. Like I got to see quite a display. I grew up with bulldogs. I had an English bulldog, and I just saw a lot of little. I don't know. I love dogs, and I was like, it brought me back to my childhood. But what a neat event! I think they raised a lot of money for La Mesa Elementary, and
yeah, school supplies.
Good kids.
Well, it's funny because we always have such fun guests on the show, and then we finally get to go back and explore and promote their events and show what it actually looks like, boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about
boots on the ground.
Yeah, speaking of boots on the ground, the National Guard came here. Albuquerque and New Mexico in general, we're on the list, baby. The top places to live in the country. Wallet Hub did a study to find out what are the best places to live in the country, and New Mexico finished on the list exactly. Dead last, 50 out of 50. Study shows New Mexico as the worst state to live in. So
I'm tired of that. Mississippi, you're number 50.
No, the internet said we're the worst, so that's that. Wallet Hub's methodology breaks down the 5 main categories: affordability, housing costs, economy, job opportunities, health and education, quality of life, and safety and crime rates.
Have they seen our show? Why wouldn't we be making the top 10? If that's the case, then what are we doing here?
Mark, scroll down. So who was number 1? Can you read it? Massachusetts? Massachusetts. Yeah, everyone moves to Massachusetts.
They don't move. You can't. You have to have 7 million.
Scroll down and let's see. Who did we finish right behind?
Mississippi or something, right?
Keep going. What's it say, Amanda? I can't read it.
Louisiana.
Mississippi. There we are. Yeah. Well, anyways.
Oh, Alaska. Come on.
No, Alaska smoked
The
us.
Ruskies are our friendskis, according to Saved by the Bell.
So anyways, yeah, just, there's so many different articles, so many different things you can read. And depending, if you ever Google Albuquerque, I think your computer just blows up. You start getting shot through the screen.
Yeah, you put on your bulletproof vest if you want to continue.
But realistically, it's always fun to bring in people from out of state just to get an outsider's perspective. And I think our guests today will drop some knowledge on kind of the differences and what's cool about living here. And maybe we're not the worst place in the world to live.
These metrics that they use. You and I are both about elevating this city, but they're somewhat tainted. It's like you and I could go anywhere, and we're here. So where's that? Where's number 6 on the grand skip?
The grand skip scale?
Yeah, I guess you're a bunch of nerds, nobodies.
Damn, dude. Well, again, as we roll into season 8, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors as we roll into our new segment called Pound Puppies.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about Nova. Nova is a beautiful 1-year-old terrier mix. She's the sweetest pup with a little patience and a pocket full of treats. She will happily sit and wait like the polite girl she is. Oh, look at her. Take her reward ever so gently. This playful gal loves a good game of fetch and will probably bring the ball back, ready for another round. When you're ready for a buddy, outdoor adventure, or gentle companion, Nova is your place to be. She's spayed, vaccinated, and ready to go home today. All she's missing is you. So come meet Nova, watch your heart light up when you walk in the door. If you want to adopt Nova, Cuddy and McCarthy will pay all the adoption fees because Cuddy cares. Contact Amanda Marie Garcia with YouABQ and the website down there. I'm not going to read the domain. And to coordinate, rescue this little Nova.
Shout out Cuddy McCarthy for sponsoring this week's episode of YouABQ. If you ever need an attorney or your teacher touched you, give him a shout.
You keep burning bridges, as they tell you not to do in middle school.
Speaking of burning bridges, dude, what's got you all ranty this week?
Let's go. Let's hit it with some Ambien rant. Here we go. Don't smoke before bed. If you do Ambien, your bed will probably be on fire. I want to talk about Ambien. I want to talk about all the attributes. I want to talk about all the negative traits. There are no negative traits. Let's talk about all the positive things that have happened. I took an Ambien last night to go to sleep, fully rested. Look at me beaming. I got a lot of emails done. I got a lot of people saying, "Hey, Grant, that was such a thoughtful response you gave me." It wasn't me, it was Ambien Grant. So what I am worried about is Ambien Grant taking over and people going, "Hey, where is normal Grant? We don't like him as much as Ambien Grant." So what I've done is I've developed a competitive version of myself, and I don't know who's going to win, but I think that Ambien Grant's going to win. I'm going to be rather resentful because I don't have any Ambien in my system now, and I don't like Ambien Grant. So he's performing at a rate that I can't duplicate. So take this pill if you want, but you may get dumped by another version of yourself with your girlfriend who actually likes Ambien Grant, and you can't keep this up forever. Take that into heed. That's my Grant's rant. I don't even know if Ambien Grant's still running right now. Depends on the ratings. People go, "Yeah, that guy was on fire," and then non-Ambien Grant will go, "Hate that guy.
Hate that guy.
He's a drug addict."
Yeah, he's a pill popper. Coming up next, here's where you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined by Quinn and Crash, New Mexico Shakespeare Festival, about to get cultured in a way that you are not ready for. So stay tuned. This is YouABQ.
What a promise.
Welcome back to YouABQ. I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
We're joined in studio by Quinn Mander and Crash Buist of New Mexico Shakespeare Festival, a nonprofit Shakespeare festival funded by the city, with their next production coming up in October. Gentlemen, welcome to the stage. Welcome to the main stage, Welcome to the bright lights.
Our
Stage was good, but
The Broadway of Albuquerque.
the big time.
No, you guys have a fascinating story in the fact that, not from Albuquerque, but Crash, tell me a little bit about your backstory and how the hell did you end up out here in the desert?
Yeah, no, I spent a lot of time in Los Angeles doing film stuff. I moved there to be an actor and sort of realized very quickly that the only way I was going to do things is if I did it myself or produced, and learned all the different things. So I ran sound, and then I started doing editing, and then I just learned a lot of that business. I took that back to Houston, where I went to graduate school there for Shakespeare performance, essentially. They have a professional actor training program there. And my partner, Lauren, who's in the studio, making sure that I stay on track. Yeah, it's Lauren. She was there, so I moved there to be with her. And during the pandemic, we sort of started a film production company. And then we moved to New York. where we were for a few years, and we did a lot of like, real estate stuff. We did a lot of like local business stuff, and didn't get to do as much of the like theatrical and storytelling stuff that we did when we were doing the theater stuff. And we moved here to Albuquerque to do a film because there's a blossoming film and television scene here that needs even more of a push. But it's pretty. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on. And now Land of Entrapment. Here we are.
Yeah, well, we're glad you're here because I think we always invite big city ideas into Albuquerque because we're slow to change here. We're slow to grow. And Quinn, give me your backstory. You're a New York kind of guy too, right?
Well, I was there for 7 years.
Yeah.
After grad school, I went to grad school for theater performance as well over at Rutgers University. And I went up to New York because that's the thing you do.
Yeah, that's what the fancy people do.
Yeah, right. And then I moved out here for reasons I don't need to explain. But I
Well,
came
if you're
here
from Rutgers,
begrudgingly.
you know that you're
New Jersey, I can handle it. I can handle this
is-
place.
Yeah.
Man, I lived in New Jersey. Don't mess with me. But I didn't come here. I came here grudgingly, let's just say.
Okay.
And I kept threatening to move back to New York. I don't know who I was threatening, but I was threatening to move
I'll
back to
go.
New York. I'm gonna go.
Standing out on Central.
I'm gonna go now.
Tell your neighbors.
Yeah,
They're like,
right.
yeah, who is this guy?
But I kept doing projects here. I kept doing theater projects and I kept doing other stuff here, and I just never left. And yes, Land of Entrapment. But I actually, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the community here. And specifically, I fell in love with the arts community.
Was it our show that did it?
Yes, yes. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
We're an anchor
I feel
for
like
a lot
that
of
would
people.
creep you out.
We're sort
No, I'm
sort of
fine. I'm
starstruck.
used to it. Yeah.
The super fans are here finally.
Right.
Yeah. So you were the two that watched our show. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Right.
Thank you. No, we appreciate that. But also, okay, so let's talk about it because you guys have had experience in big cities, bigger markets, bigger theaters. What is it about Albuquerque that makes you want to hang out and kind of grow the program here, the art and the culture?
Well, so I grew up in Texas originally, and so the one thing I like to tell people about living here is that it kind of feels like a more liberal cartoon Texas. Like everything they film that's like in Texas, like No Country for Old Men, and
Yeah, our airport's in it, right?
Yeah. Well, what is it? That doesn't. Texas is huge. But in a lot of ways, I feel like it has the second best everything. Like they kind of have deserts, they kind of have mountains, they kind of have. Here you're like, there's like a legit. I mean, they have legit
Second biggest.
military
Yeah, I
bases.
get it. My God.
But
yeah,
they
yeah.
got everything. It's
See, they're
gorgeous.
chili. You can't just make chili. You grow chili.
Yeah, right. That's right. This is the origin of the chili.
Yeah.
But like I have a friend that does a lot of like Netflix production stuff, and he was saying that the thing that they call it is landscape porn. So they'll come out here and anything they want to shoot, it just looks so beautiful, and so they'll shoot like landscapes and then have like, if you have a desert fight scene, you want to do it here, So.
Oh, we got tumbleweeds too. If you want
Yeah.
some tumbleweeds rolling by.
Yeah, we have real ones. Like
From
big
a,
ones.
from a financial perspective, though, Albuquerque and New Mexico as a whole has various tiers of tax incentives for film production. So, in the Albuquerque and Santa Fe areas, you get like 25% back, and they just like write you a check from the government. Like it's not like a tax incentive that takes months or whatever. They'll just like give you cash back. That's
cool.
And if you do stuff down in like Las Cruces or sort of over in over east or anywhere like outside the main zones, it can get up to like 30, 35, 40%. So
wild.
it's bananas, yeah. So the amount of money to be made here, if you can swing it and figure out how to do it, is great.
I think that kind of gets left out because you talk about like monetary policy here, and sometimes we get a bad rap for like not managing money correctly. But that's a huge endeavor and incentive. I mean, if you're a walking, answer to saying or a testimonial that we are doing the right things. It's just that's not putting out there enough. Like people are filming here, because of the initiatives we've put out there.
Yeah, and then when it comes to the theater stuff, like there's all kinds of city grants and different ways to like fund local theater and the local arts. Santa Fe's got a lot of it figured out. They've got a lot of money coming in for different things.
They pay you in turquoise. Yeah.
But like doing this play with Quinn is like bringing a lot of those same talents and finding those talented people. Like that was part of the reason that we decided to do the play, and why we're so excited to share like about the production of Coriolanus is because like the people that we were able to find that had that level of talent here is like bananas. Like this.
Well, that's great, and I think we were talking earlier that where the art and the culture go, the money follows. And you look at cities like Santa Fe with real estate values.
That's what I tell myself. Yeah.
The money's coming.
Hang in there. No, and so I think it's great that you guys are bringing high-level production down to Albuquerque, and really using local people here and putting on a production that's going to give back to the community.
Yeah.
So talk about the production that's coming up in October.
So it's Coriolanus, which is Shakespeare, and it's one of his lesser known and lesser performed.
I don't know
plays.
Coriolanus.
It is it's a political drama. It's a war play. It's about. This man is Coriolanus here, not literally Coriolanus.
I don't know.
I know you're pretty
not
close.
from the-
pretty, he's
You've seen his temper.
grumpy character.
Yeah,
so
yeah. But he's a general who is just essentially, he's sort of like Achilles. He's sort of invincible without the heel. But he has his mother actually has a lot of political ambitions for him. He's not built for that. He speaks from the hip. He's just straight and honest and angry and hates pretty much everyone around him. So he speaks.
It's great UABQ.
He's from
Yeah.
Albuquerque?
Yeah, he's from Albuquerque.
Did you a biography about Grant Harvey?
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
But he wins the wars. This takes place in like pre-Republic Rome, before Rome was actually a nation or an empire. And there's a lot that's about building a nation in this play. But he he slaughters everyone. He defeats all of their enemies. But when they don't need him anymore, he's so abrasive, they end up banishing him.
It's like Rambo. It's like he comes back.
Yep.
Or like
That is actually
Just
not
like
far off the
Rambo.
story.
Just like Rambo.
Yeah. You should see him do
Dead
the
ass.
pool, like the underwater thing where he comes like.
And he ties that handkerchief around his
right,
bicep.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He eats a steak with that thing that he stabbed everyone with. Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay.
So this is a real. Is this a real like? Does this happen?
Yeah,
Or
no,
this
real
is
dude.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah, and
all
so a
right.
lot of Shakespeare's plays that he wrote, and this is one of his later plays too. So like a lot of what's fascinating that like nobody does this play, and I think it's hard to do, but it was one of like his last tragedies that he wrote. So after Macbeth, after Hamlet, after Henry V and all those other, he did this like it's like one of his more advanced plays.
It really is.
And it's really exciting because it's hard to find somebody who kind of knows what they're doing with it. And you wouldn't think you'd find somebody that is so intimately familiar with something so difficult, so high level, and so badass in Albuquerque.
Why would you?
And
Why
we
was
did.
it his last? Right. Why was it his last act? Like why? Why do you?
Well,
think
eventually, you die, so he didn't get to write it.
Yeah, but like, why do you think?
Why
like,
did he write it later?
What
It felt like
inspired
he
him
found
to
a lot
pick
of value in it. Why did he put it up last? Like what? Is this,
I don't know. What do you think about that? Because
it sounds like it was a
honestly,
hard write. It
Yeah.
sounds like it was sophisticated. It sounds like there's multi-layered. It sounds like it was a hard story to tell or something. There's some sophistication about it. I'm just wondering, like,
yeah,
there's any-
I mean, he was a great thief. Shakespeare would just like steal ideas and like essentially like their version of intellectual property. Like he would go and take like we have. World War I, World War II, Civil War, Westerns. They didn't have any of that shit yet. It hadn't happened yet, right? So like their idea, they had like Rome, the stuff that happened there, like old witch tales and like creepy shit that happened in castles in Scotland, like with Macbeth. So he was just going down the line, stealing different intellectual properties. And then I think there's a guy named Richard Burbage that was like one of his main actors, and I think he guided a lot of, well, I want to do this next. Well, I want to do this next. And I think he finally got around to being like, well, I want to play like the old general
this
guy.
sounds like one of the more like the most important, like I guess interesting stories to me. Was he Francis Bacon? Do we gonna clear this up?
No.
I don't think so. I've met dudes that are like, no, he wasn't. It wasn't really Shakespeare. And also, it's like, even if it wasn't, the dude tried really hard not to be that guy. So like, let's just let him have it.
Yep.
Like,
That's right.
He can be Shakespeare if he wants. That's cool.
Those that know what I just did and what these guys recognize, there's probably 2%. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some real high level nerd
Then
shit.
now we know.
I'm certified nerd.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what goes on behind the scenes in production, because finding actors, getting them to commit to, because how long do they have to commit? You're looking at a 3 to 5, 6 month commitment? Or
No. Well, this rehearsal period is like 7 weeks.
Okay.
7-8 weeks. But we started working on the production aspects of it, marketing and design and various aspects, set design, sound design. He also is doing the sound design. And his partner, Lauren, is also in the play, but is doing the set design.
It's
gorgeous.
So, I mean, we find talented people you want to work with, and we just ask them to do everything.
Oh, by the way, can you hold the light while I'm...
Right.
But what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to rehearsal is, going out to the park or going to your house and doing sword fights and practicing combat scenes. And I think that's what's fascinating about it is it's not just the production, it's all the minutia that goes on behind the scenes as far as late nights at your house, everybody's swinging swords at each other. Talk a little bit about that.
I love it. Well, basically you have to break down the needs of the play, right? So it's a war play. You've got the fight combat. You've got the elements of how the set works with the actors. You've got the elements of all the sound production. All of those pieces have to come together. So there's like late nights sitting with Crash and Lauren working on sound stuff or trying to answer questions about, okay, I've got this idea. Okay, well, how does it play out in the set? Like, how does the set tell the story? All the pieces have to tell the story. And they all have to tell the same story.
Especially if you want to do something cool. Like a lot of the times, you see, and there's nothing wrong with this. Something wrong with the sort of like out in the, because they do the Shakespeare in the park.
Best way to lead into there's something wrong with this.
No.
With all due respect,
No, it doesn't matter.
It's not atrocious.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter what city you go into, whatever. Like there's some park Shakespeare with the frilly sleeves and the
That
thing.
ain't this.
Some substandard version of what...
I mean, they do it at Oregon Shakespeare Festival too. Like, you go through the greatest, and in Stratford, you'll get like, oh, well, this is very classically done, like, ye olde Shakespeare thing with the cool costumes and whatever. So that's kind of what people want a lot of the time. Is like that's the novelty of it. But if you want to, and that has a tried and true tradition. But when Quinn came to us and talked about his concept for this production, it takes a lot more focus and honing and figuring it out because it's not very conventional. It's super freaking weird. It's very metal. What we're doing, the soundtrack,
now he's on board.
The effects, it's all it's geared not only toward like this Roman sensibility, but it's also we're trying to translate it and communicate it to like a modern audience, modern vets. Guys my age that did 2 tours and now they're coming and they're watching like a play about a guy who's I didn't do 2 I wasn't in the military, but I have friends. No, God, no, I wouldn't take that
2
credit.
Purple Hearts.
No. But we both have friends that served and making something that is like feels true to the actual sense of
the experience.
The experience, and it's not just like trauma and sadness. It's also like there's a badassery and a depth to
triumph,
like the grit of it. And so we spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to make that fit and be a part of it and feel seamless. Like, oh yeah, that's just Coriolanus, that metal play.
So when will this be put on?
It opens on October 10th.
Okay.
Runs through the 26th.
Where at?
It's North 4th Arts Center.
And the cool thing about it is it's funded a lot by the city, but then you also have private investors. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So the artistic director of New Mexico Shakespeare, Levi, he's worked with different investors to try and this is the first time we've ever done a fall play.
It's usually held in the summer in a park, but this is the first indoor venue.
It's indoor. North 4th is the venue, and they have the most. I mean, they have more lighting instruments than any other stage I've done, and I've been part of it a long time. And it's a gorgeous stage. It's like they do a lot of dance there, a lot of but it's like a. Rather than it being like, oh, we found this place in the park to kind of do this thing.
Cars driving by.
Oh, yeah, right. Or it's at an Air Force base, and there's like mic interference to the Air Force base. Everything is sort of like in a controlled, and it's ticketed, so it's like, for paying audiences. And that kind of puts it at a different, puts the onus on us to bring it to another level,
So my question as an outsider, how do you put this out there? How does everyone know? So Skip and I learn a lot about Albuquerque and its talents and endeavors just by the show. How are you reaching everybody, or what's your?
There's marketing on social media, but there's a lot of word of mouth too.
I would imagine your community is pretty tight. The thespian community in general.
I like to put it out there. I mean, we will. We repurpose everything because we're proud of the people that do things like this. But what would your average, let's say you have a Grant who's just a jock guy who's a hockey player guy, how would you reach me? What do you think is your what's your avenue? Facebook friends,
where has it fallen short previously, and what are your ideas to
because I'm interested.
Yeah, to bring a new crowd and to network with businesses and people.
Well, I mean, we live in a time, right, where it's actually incredibly difficult. There's so much noise, so many shows,
it's hard
so
to
many.
Sift through.
It's hard to get to, So you want the word of mouth and talking to people individually and people that are used to coming to the Shakespeare Festival. They might follow the Instagram, whatever. That you need to curate that community. But coming on here and talking to you. That's it, right? Like, how else are you going to meet people that?
Yeah, and honestly, send it to us right away so we can get it out there. But yeah, I'm sure you already infiltrated the people that you ever reached. That's kind of like the paradox of like, well, yeah, I get it out there. Well, they already know. If I reach them, they
That's
knew.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the point of it all, one of the things that we've been really trying to do with this show is to figure out how to, find a way into other communities, other parts of the community. And that requires outreach. That requires, people actually going and talking to businesses, people actually going to, producing, there's an educational branch.
Yeah, showing up in person for
showing
any
up in
reason
person.
now is crazy. Like, if you show up and you have an actual physical thing to hand
You're
somebody.
here? No,
Did you
that's
wash
my
your
hologram.
hands?
Yeah, yeah. So like we want to like.
But also I'm intrigued.
There's a certain political aspect to this play as well that is like incredibly
certain.
yeah, it's very reminiscent of what's going on a little bit today with the divisive perspectives. My character is very one way, and then there's the people have maybe a different perspective. It's a lot about democracy, a lot about democracy falling apart, or is it going to grow?
It's a lot about class.
A lot about class warfare.
Sure.
So there's a lot of those kind of heady ideas that we're looking to like promote to the universities.
Yeah.
There's many different aspects of this that can be used to create marketing material. And
Well, let me,
draw people
because he brings that up because, small business owners, you're A+ at your craft. I'm awesome at selling homes. He's good at running numbers. But then also you have to figure out the funding for the business, the marketing, the advertising. How do we put people in the seats? How do we get the freaking phones to ring, right? So you have to be an expert in all aspects, not just lighting. You have to know everything. Yep. And I think it's great that you guys are running it on such a small network.
Yeah, notoriously theater and theater people are not as good at that kind of stuff. Like if you're good at remembering all your words and pretending to fight and whatever and like costumes, like not everybody's good at everything. So
Well, and I've always said this: my industry, his industry, and it's okay to be good at your craft. Does anyone know? Does anyone know about that? I mean, that's another reach. You could be as good as you want to be, but does anyone know how good you are? And that takes another animal, another avenue of marketing and marketing reach is really what I call it. Yeah.
So when we talk about bigger cities like New York, I mean, I'm sure you guys run much bigger productions. What are some things that people are doing or in bigger cities that you want to bring to Albuquerque to make the production bigger or to kind of grow our culture?
That's going to be a you question. I haven't been up to New York. I don't know what they're doing now. I moved here in 2011, but
I mean, so one of the things that's interesting about New York or Los Angeles versus someplace like Albuquerque is those places have an established culture and hierarchy for this kind of stuff. That means that you're seeing or thinking or hearing about like the top 2% of projects that are happening there. The rest of people they're getting lost in the noise, just like podcasts and whatever other things going on. And they're still artists living in a huge city without they might have money from sometimes it's from mom and dad. Sometimes they have some kind of grant that's their specific type of theater or their niche, but that doesn't mean they're going to have reach. They have to be good at the same things and maybe even better. In Albuquerque, there isn't as much going on. There are local theaters and actually a lot of small theaters that like work together and have an audience here. But the nice thing about being here, whether it be film production, whether it be I don't know about the real estate game as much, but like in the arts, is that the pool is smaller. So if you do something really exceptional, like this play is going to be very exceptional, even by the standards of plays that we did in New York and Los Angeles, just based on Quinn's idea, what he's bringing to it, the production people that are in it. And so having a quality product is sort of the start, right? And then being in a market that is not oversaturated is also very helpful. And then I think you have to reach. You have to actually get it in front of people and go, look, this is going to be better than a lot of the stuff you've seen on National Theater Live or whatever from London.
I hear notoriety. How many shows have you guys done as a conglomerate, as you two assembly?
Oh, this is our first production.
This is our first one together.
So I've always said this, putting together like it's nothing different than putting together like a hockey team in New Mexico, right? You guys are the same, the same parallel, same outrageous, outlandish endeavor.
Yeah.
once you guys get this one down, it's going to build momentum, and I heavily believe that. And going first is hard. It sucks. Heavy work.
Oh, this is
very
exciting.
few people having having your hands on everything. It's going to get easier. So I guarantee that. And so people see something like that, they go, "Whoa, I want that again." Okay, watch this. And then, but the first one's the hardest one, and I don't need to tell you guys this, but if you do something like this and it's big, like. It's only subsequent
we're
shows are gonna be
really
easier.
lucky to be like the first time we've worked together, the first time Lauren and I have gotten a chance to do any sort of production in town, but we're lucky to be working with the New Mexico Shakespeare Festival, which you have a history with, and so
15th season, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe so.
That's some pedigree, yeah.
yeah. So it's a lot harder to build your own business versus like joining the people that are tried and true pros that have been doing it in the town for a long time. So New Mexico Shakes is. We are grateful that Levi and the folks over there have decided to kind of branch out and create a fall show, because that. So though it's our first time working together as a team and with them and like this particular group of people, that's one of the cool things about theater too, though, right? Like it's always often a new group of people, even if your core team that keeps it going remain the same.
That's one of the things that I found. It's interesting. Like I've been involved with the festival and with that community of the festival for quite a long time, but. I took a step back from theater for a number of years. I had a son, and that's just family life, But I came back, and one of the most exciting things was like, I know hardly any of these people. It's like new blood and new talent. And when I held auditions and when I started working on this play and talking to people, there were so many people I had no idea about. In fact, Crash and Lauren, I met because a mutual friend of ours, who is part of the theater community and part of the festival. She's one of the board members.
Alex.
Alex. She said, look, I know you're looking for a Coriolanus. Coriolanus is the kind of play, it's like Hamlet. You don't decide to do that play without a Coriolanus in mind.
Yeah.
And I did that. I did it. So Alex,
we'll find him.
Yeah. No problem.
Plenty of tall, good-looking dudes in Albuquerque.
Yeah. So she was like, look, I've got someone that I think could really has the qualities you're looking for. Has the volatility, not generally, but can play the volatility.
It's there.
It's there. It's down.
He has
it's
a
down.
temper
I'm an
skip.
angry
He has a
guy.
temper skip. Okay.
But has the vulnerability and a kind of boyish quality. To me, there's a lot about Coriolanus that is sort of like a teenager. There's a lot of, as I said, emotional vulnerability and volatility, and he's sort of learning or not learning how to manage.
So it sounds
all that.
like you are enthused. When I picked my team captain, I was enthused for a season, and you went, I got my guy.
Yeah.
Now it's on autopilot.
Well, it's funny. They met me at a coffee shop because it was like Alex was like, okay, they want to meet you and talk about it, and it's like they came in and were like, I don't know.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's even though our production company is called Poor Yorick Pictures, even that's a Hamlet reference. Like we're Shakespeare nerds. Right. Like we're busy. Like we do a lot of stuff. We're working on films and we do different commercial projects and stuff. So we were like, well, if we do a play, you're talking months of work and investment. And at this point, we weren't even thinking that we were going to do different production aspects like the set and the sound and help with all that stuff. But it became, we have these skills and we'll do it anyway. But yeah, we were like, why? Unless it's a really good project or there's any reason, we're going to go to this meeting, we're going to meet Quinn, so we can say no. Yeah. Because we don't know this guy. And so, but we should meet because our friend Alex was like, you should meet this guy. He's great. He's out of his mind. Hell yeah.
In theater?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. In best way. But thankfully for our souls and not so much for our time. But it is a very unique perspective and concept that he has. So it immediately became worth it to set aside the time.
Well, I can tell you guys have a ton of respect for each other. You guys have nothing but nice things about each other, and I can tell you're excited, and this is going to be a huge hit, and we're excited to promote it here and get the word out as best we can.
Yeah. If you're going to come to Albuquerque to check out some real estate, and you want to see where the arts culture is going, come see this play.
Exactly.
It's going to be badass.
And then we will go buy you a house right after.
Right afterward, with all the box office money.
You have 5 minutes.
So again, Coriolanus.
Coriolanus.
It's not even Spanish. How'd you blow that?
Yeah.
It's
Coriolanus. Shakespeare in the theater this time during the fall in October. We'll have links to your website and tickets and everything else on our show. But we appreciate you guys coming in. Quinn and Crash, New Mexico Shakespeare Festival. We're excited to see how this plays out for you guys.
It's gonna be fun.
So much culture. So much culture.
Coming up next, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. This is UABQ.
Thank you, Crash and Quinn, for your Shakespearean endeavor. I think it's going to go off well. We're going to be there, and we'll do a follow-up. And now for our segment 3, Skip's Tips.
Oh yeah.
Well, everyone knows Skip's Tips are anything that saves us time, makes us more money, or allows us to have more fun in real estate or in real life. Hey, they're giving away free houses. Let me explain. What if I told you could get into a property with no money down, no mortgage insurance, a substantially lower rate? Too good to be true? Sure. VA loan. All those benefits, if you qualify for a VA loans through the Veterans Administration, you will be able to get into a house with literally no money out of pocket. Sound too good to be true? Well, reach out. I'll show you the way. Share this with a friend and tell them Skip said so.
Oh yeah.
Nailed that one.
Yeah. Sounds too good to be true? Sure, Geraldo. Whenever you start to dip into my territory, it just goes kablooey.
All right, what did I leave out?
Kaput.
I fucking nailed it. What did I leave out?
Yeah, you
on
did?
VA?
Yeah, lucky for the edit button's fucking worn out. Oh, what am I reading my own words? Help me. I'm poor.
You're going to break the chair. Every Wednesday night, Sunday morning on the Education Channel Worldwide, this is All About You, ABQ.
Maybe you could buy me a chair of Daddy Warbucks.
You're watching YouABQ.